France, the 100 Days. Napoleon starts the game here with a relatively large number of units. Not excellent units, but there are enough of them in terms of numbers to allow you to do a couple of interesting maneuvers on the battlefield, and then a good number of enemy units ready to run after you. This time it's personal. This time it's about catching Napoleon. Several orders on the enemy orders table, in fact, will instruct the enemies to move towards Napoleon. It is about catching the man. And actually for you it is very similar. It is about destroying enemy units. This scenario, you play until the end of the scenario according to the turn track, or you can just stop playing at any time in the middle of a battle, and then you just count the victory points, which you gain based on the elimination of enemy units. It is the only way to get victory points. It is not about conquering areas or holding areas or defending areas. The space on the board exists solely to run after your enemies and for them to run after you. So it is really a frontal, direct confrontation. And overall, and I don't know if I did something wrong, but it did not seem a very hard scenario to win. As long as you keep all of your units together in a relatively powerful army and you go against your enemies, well, whether they split in smaller groups or even if they keep these tall stacks together, they're not that hard to beat. At least maybe it's because I learned a couple of tricks, during most of the previous scenarios that I play, but I just didn't find it very hard to eliminate most of these units. Then there are the reinforcements that the enemy will receive during the resupply phase, and those reinforcements will enter from here, and from here, the same areas that you have in the previous scenario, but those will be small scattered groups of 1-2 units each. At that point, after you're done with the majority of these guys here, then you may split your army and go after those small groups, and they're not, again, that hard to eliminate. So I really can't see any reason why anyone would want to split Napoleon's army in any way. The only disadvantage is that in this way you get less supply points, because you receive supply points, one for each area that you hold. So in this situation you only get one, but splitting your army to get 1, 2, 3 or 4 extra supply points at the risk of having several of your units slaughtered by the enemies really does not seem like a good deal, like a good idea. I don't see why anyone would want to do so. And after you play your scenario, if you have ideas in regard, just let me know. As of now, it seemed to me a relatively easy scenario that I will probably play again using some of the options to make the game harder, which is, well, an option that I did not consider very often in earlier scenarios because they seem much tougher than this one. Overall, a little bit of an anticlimactic conclusion to my long journey in Napoleon's adventure.